Hey guys, it's Destiny back here with another video. You're watching the Decimania channel here on YouTube. Got another discussion video for you today. Today I'm going to be discussing the inductees into this year's class of the TNA Wrestling Hall of Fame. It will be happening Bound for Glory weekend. I believe it takes place on the pre-show to Bound for Glory. So usually we have 2 or 3 inductees, as is the case this year. So this year we have 3 in total. First of which was announced at the Rebellion pay-per-view back in April, on April 11th. ODB. Real name Jessie Creaser. She will be going in. I remember when I first saw her, it was at a live event. So this is a weird situation where it was her and Eric Young were the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Champions. So we had an intergender team as tag team champions. It was a weird situation, but it worked because like Eric Young's character and just he would just do these crazy things, not like bad, but like him and ODB made a really good team. They were on screen, got married on screen. It was a steel cage wedding, so that's fun. She first started in TNA, ODB did. I believe she had like a on-screen managerial thing with like Cody Deaner, I think. It was him? Yeah, it was Cody Deaner because he was his ODB's manager for a little bit or something like that. I don't remember much about her early career, but I saw like the later part of it when she was doing the tag team thing with Eric Young and the marriage thing, and just it was interesting. She got this announcement at the Rebellion pay-per-view. She had just lost a 6-woman tag team match. It was her, Mickie James, and Taryn Terrell versus the Elegance brand. So she got that induction announcement. So congratulations to her. And then we got 2 new ones this Sunday at Slammiversary, which we'll get into. First of 2 inductees announcements being made. This one was to the Amazing Red. What do I say about the Amazing Red? Well, let's just face it. He revolutionized and influenced a generation. When it comes to these high-flying moves, this X Division style, he held the record for, I believe it was 23 years. No, 22. He held this record for 22 years. That he was the youngest TNA X Division champion at 20 years old. Leon Slater broke that last year. So, Don West was a big supporter of him in the early days of TNA, and really throughout his entire run there, his entire career. Don West is actually the reason why Amazing Red got his own TNA action figure. TNA Deluxe Series 2, which I do not have yet. But he just, the things he was doing in there with guys like AJ Styles, he won the tag team titles with Jerry Lynn. Back when TNA was first kind of trying to figure out what it was. This was back in 2003. It was a couple months after the company formed. Or it started. Wow. I think he was. Don West actually was his manager in 2009 when he got taken off of the TNA broadcast announcing team. I don't know why they took him off of that, but whatever. I mean, that's cool that he managed Amazing Red, but it was just a weird move. And then Hogan and Bischoff came in, and then they just never used him much again. I don't. Talking about Amazing Red. I mean, Don West made them a fortune, you know, in merchandise sales, which that Amazing Red TNA action figure probably had something to do with it. I don't know. But, yeah, Frankie Kazarian actually surprised him with the announcement after the Ultimate X match. He showed him respect, and he's like, yeah, look up at the screen and let's see how great, let's show these people how great you are. And they showed a video package of Amazing Red and announced him for the TNA Hall of Fame this year at Bound for Glory. So, good luck to him. Been watching quite a few of his matches lately. I've seen one, I'm watching one currently against Rey Mysterio that I've got to finish. There's another one against Mike Santana. This is all House of Glory. Actually, I think he, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys that watch this, I know Solomon can probably answer this because he's the commissioner for House of Glory Wrestling, but didn't Amazing Red found that company? Didn't he kind of start that company or something? Let me know in the comments with that. So, congratulations to Amazing Red. And then there's Conan. Wow. Conan has had a pretty rough year. He lost both of his legs. He lost one in March, and I believe the other one was either last month or May, maybe April. I don't remember, but it was pretty close to each other that he lost both of them. Had to have both of his legs amputated, which has to suck. I mean, I can't imagine what that's like. You know, I can't imagine being someone who has had something their entire life and then they just, for one reason or another, lose it. Like, you know, I've been blind from birth, so I don't know what it's like to have vision, so to speak. But that wouldn't be like, you know, but I do know people that have had vision loss later in life. But, you know, that's pales in comparison. Like, I can't even imagine what that's like for someone to lose the ability to walk, basically. I don't know if he's going to have prosthetics or what that's going to be, but Conan, let's see. He came into TNA around, I want to say 2003. I'm actually currently watching the Asylum Years, so I should know this. The Asylum Years playlist on the TNA Plus app with the NWA TNA weekly pay-per-views. If you want to go check those out. Amazing Red's on them, Conan's on them. You want to go check those out. And he came in kind of as at first he was doing this whole gimmick where he was basically saying that the X Division was like a ripoff of the Lucha Libre style. And then he was putting people in there against Jerry Lynn. He was kind of feuding with Jerry Lynn. And he would bring all these different luchadors in to face him. And Jerry would just beat every one of them. And Conan would get mad. But then he kind of had this alliance going with Ron the Truth Killings and BG James, or Road Dogg. By the way, Ron the Truth Killings is R-Truth. For those of you that don't know, that didn't watch TNA. Then the 3 Live Crew was born. They lasted for about 3 years, maybe. And then LAX. I liked 3 Live Crew, but I liked LAX even more. What I did get a watch of them. You know, you got Homicide and Hernandez. Great team. Had some really fun battles with Christopher Daniels and AJ Styles on Against America's Most Wanted, and this was all under the management of Conan. I don't remember Conan ever really wrestling, like, in 6-man tag action against LAX. Maybe they did. Maybe he did, I don't remember. But yeah, that's really cool that Conan's getting in this year. I'm actually kind of surprised they're not putting in the whole faction of LAX. So there's a really interesting story here too, because Conan would manage 2 different versions of LAX. There was the original, which was Homicide and Hernandez. And then there was the 2017 or 2018 version, which had Mike Santana and Angel Ortiz. So that's an interesting story, I guess. I don't know if... Didn't they have a couple matches against each other? Didn't the OG LAX take on the new version? I think they did a couple times. That was when I was kind of out of TNA. Last episode of TNA I watched up until 2023 was, that I remember, it was a couple weeks after the final deletion match between Matt and Jeff Hardy, which 10-year anniversary of that's coming up. If you want me to do a video on that, I will try to. Not saying I'm not promising anything. We'll see what my schedule looks like, and we'll see if I can get that done. But I would love to do that if I could, and talk about my thoughts on that match. But yeah, congratulations to the newest inductees into the TNA Wrestling Hall of Fame. They'll officially be inducted on October 11th, which is Bound for Glory weekend. There's a couple other newsworthy announcements on this show. So, speaking of the TNA Hall of Fame, Tracy Brooks, who was inducted in 2023 along with Mike Tenay and Don West, she unveiled a new Knockouts Television Championship, which will be defended exclusively on Impact, on the weekly show. And they're going to have a 16-woman tournament in the following weeks. So that'll probably start tomorrow, I imagine. The Destination X pay-per-view is coming back on November 15th of this year. And then there was one more thing, I think, that happened. That might have been it. The announcements and the TV title being announced and Destination X. But yeah. Pretty good class going on this year. All of them deserving. Very much so. And that's going to be it for me today. I'll see you guys later this week. Well, tomorrow night for TNA review if I'm not too tired. If I'm too tired, that's probably, if I didn't do a review tomorrow, if I don't do a review tomorrow, it's because I'm tired. But most likely, hopefully, I will be up here. So, have a good day. Thank you for watching. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you won't miss any new content. And I will see you guys later. Thank you. Peace. And God bless you.